Hey guys, this is SF and welcome to Ren Talk Sundays. This week I'll be farming Karasu, which is the 24/7 extreme dungeon, and I'm just gonna play with Loki, Niraikanai, and Babel. And let's get started. Hopefully I rank up. I don't have a genius on any of my monsters if I remember correctly, so technically I won't be able to, but I'll play as much as I can, or as long as my stamina allows. But of course, the Yu Yu Hakusho collaboration just started, and wonder how everybody's roles go. I've seen people with a lot of good pulls. I've seen like multiple Kuramas in one 10 shot. I haven't seen a 10 shot that has all three of the 5-star monsters, so I haven't seen any of that yet. But I'm pretty sure there's one out there somewhere. And then for me, I only got Hiei, and I got the two 4-5-star monsters, so that's good enough for me in my opinion. But of course, Kurama's Ascended Strike Shot is crazy powerful. If you saw what I did to Karasu in this video, not in this video, in the walkthrough video, that was some major BS damage. Like, it's even crazier than Seiya in terms of damage, and it's easier because he disappears. All you gotta do is just hit the boss, and that's like a lot of damage. And then probably I might roll once or twice, but I'm not gonna, in terms of just like solo rolls. So maybe that's going to be okay, but you know, maybe I get it, but maybe I won't. Highly doubt I will. And Yusuke's okay, but you know, Kurama is probably the best. And I did get Hiei, which is alright. And Hiei really helped me out in Toguro 100%. But everybody hates that dungeon already. Like, it's only, like, I'm filming this on Friday, and it's only been one session of 100% Toguro, and everybody hates Mixie for it. Everybody hates Mixie for it. And out of two line groups, so one is relatively small, one is relatively big, so like about 250 people, I only know one other person that beat it. Of course, that large, that large line group that I have, probably like only 10% of those people are actually active. Still, even still, there's not a lot of clears. And even so, like, even in that large line group, when Yu Yu Hakusho came out and they rolled really good monsters, they just show off in it. And like, I've seen like 10 other people that I'd never seen in my life in that group, and just show their rolls and just walk and then just run away. That's what big groups are, so you know, take it. So that's basically what large groups are. That's why I think small groups are really good in terms of just having a community and having friends to play with. Because, you know, and only people that have like small groups and that's their only group. But either way, like, Hiei really carried me in that dungeon. Hopefully I can get a rundown to you guys before during the weekend, because it is a doozy. That dungeon is a doozy. And I killed the shield again. Well, this is what this team is basically. It's just kill everything and kill anything and everything. I don't really care about like fast, being like really fast. It's just that it's really brainless, where you just like just bump each other for bump combos, and then everything should be okay. But why is it really hard is, like, it's really straightforward. Like, what you gotta do is really straightforward, but they just make it super hard for you. Like, you have to mob clear the demons, but the positioning of those demons is really hard, and their HP is relatively high. Like, it's relatively high. You cannot, like, you can Gabriel your way out of it, but if you don't get the right demon on the first hit, the first bump of that, first proc of that chain lightning is going to be really bad. And of course, Hiei is probably the best monster. I didn't really see what other people's top picks are, but I think Hiei or Eclipse was the game changer. And then I've seen some evolved Kuramas. I even seen Archimedis, the Light Demon Slayer XL. He's relatively good. I've seen some Spikas. I've seen, what else I've seen? I don't remember. But I've seen quite a few variations, but most of the stable ones are Eclipse, Gabriel, yes, double drop. Eclipse, Gabriel, Hiei, and that's pretty much it. Any combination of those three monsters, then it should be straightforward, but it's still hard. And another reason why it's super hard is that Toguro slays basically the two most popular classes in the game, which is Deity and Paladins. So Paladins, he slays Paladins, which basically tells you not to bring Robin Hood, which is really strong in that dungeon, because there are some tight spots and you can just strike shot your way out of it. In terms of the evolved version, and the ascended version has a very good mob clear, but that basically goes to like nothing because he slays them and he does a lot of damage. And then team wise, Valkyrie, if you're really good with the bomb combo, she does a lot of damage, but you know, Valkyrie is really bad. Royce is really bad because he's also a paladin. Aladdin is also a paladin. Like, it's crazy. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of Lucifers too. In terms of usable monsters, but I don't recommend bringing more than one, just because he doesn't do mob clear that well. He does single target damage, which is good for the boss, but not good for the mobs when it's all about mob clear. And his defense up is really good for just mitigating damage as well. But either way, it's really crazy. Really crazy. And I've seen people give up already. So why 100%? Why people run 100% is because the final form, the Toguro 100%, and you can only get it from that dungeon, like by clearing that dungeon. And he comes with an Ableberry slot, which is good for farm. Well, you know, it's like a free monster and you don't need to create a second max slot. He comes with a berry slot once you get him, which is really good in my opinion. Like last time when something like this happened, which was the Saint Seiya collaboration with Dark and Light Saga, and the only difference between Light and Dark Saga was the elemental change, which is you know, Dark versus Light, there's not much big of a difference, and that's basically it. Whereas between Toguro, 80% and 100% is an extra berry slot, which is very valuable in my opinion. And not a lot of people would farm an extra max slot for an Ableberry spot. And then why? Just because, like, if you're farming, like, these kinds of monsters are really good for like utility berry slots. So recently there's a added berries of speed clear, so increase your speed clear turns. There is ones that increase the S clear time, so you can get S clear easier. What the hell is that? And then there's also the score Ableberry, which will increase the base value of the score, which equals to your medals, which is really good. So usually the max is 100 for S++. So usually when you S clear a extreme dungeon, then you'll get 400 medals, and then if you get that S++, it will raise to 500, and then after that it's all the multipliers, like 5 times for like the bonus for like these new dungeons. Then there's multiplayer, there is rarity stuff, so it increases the base medals, which is really good for if you're metal farming. And these guys are relatively, and like farmables are really good for holding those types of medals, because even if you raise like bump combo damage, like most of them don't have really powerful bump combos. If you raise stats, like sure, like it's okay, but what's the point? Like what's the real point, I guess? And then that's why I recommend like Genius or like those S clear score able berries, just because it gives you more for what, like it has a better amplifier of what you're trying, of the reason why you bring them besides the max luck. Like if you just bump up stats, like sure it's good. If you bump up bump combo like with Psychic, doesn't do that much because their bump combos are not all, like most of them, like their bump combos are not really good. And oop, I missed my gauge. That's fine. So whereas like for Hatcher monsters, there's usually like really good bump combo monsters, like you see like Loki and stuff like that. Like, but most of like lock on, like the one-way lasers are all power types, like with Home, and then like Vendetta. I don't think Vendetta has a able berry slot yet. Does he? Probably. I don't remember. But you know, like you see what I'm getting at. So you should always put those utility ones in those farmables, and that should be really good. Oh, why did it? Fine. Oh, the panels. I got stuck on shield too, which was not good. Let's strike shot. But yeah, Toguro 100%, like everybody hates it, and but the main thing is you only have to clear it once. You don't have to clear it like multiple times, and that's the good part, because if Mixie tells you to farm it for at 100%, then you like it's going to be hell. Like this is worse. Like people say this is worse than Impossibles or like Colossal dungeons, because it's just that hard, and the level is insidious for some reason. Okay, next is, I'm just gonna strike shot. I don't even know why. Well, actually I know why, but like just to get the speed up to sweep up lines, but like it won't do that much. Well, I guess it killed it, but you know, Loki OP. And double drop again. Double drop again. Man, my luck is really good right now. And I haven't been farming Karasu a lot, so these are really good. And oh yeah, it's, thank you for the rank. There is a ×5 experience on specific days, and today is the day, so thank God. So I can probably do like 3 or 4 more runs, and then I have to get like clear those difficulties for 5 orbs and stuff like that. But let's roll one just because I feel lucky right now with 2 straight. And if they say stretch out, I don't know, because I don't have my headphones on. I'm not listening to the BGM. Nah. Okay, I don't feel that lucky. Whoops. Let's do one more. I don't feel that lucky, but let's do one more. In terms of orbs, I didn't even see if there's a guaranteed thing, but I doubt it would. But yay, Chopin. Okay, let's go back to farming. But I forgot what, I lost my train of thought. But like, I guess I can talk about the new Colossal. So there's going to be a new series of Colossals. First one is Arcadia, which is fire. In terms of materials, it needs Izanami 0 and then Nirvana. So 3H, kind of like normal Izanami and Ashura for Avalon. And basically, it's like, I forgot, like there is some kind of backstory to why it looks like human. Something about like, I don't know, something about like a high school student getting trapped into something. Like it's like it's a really random backstory. Oh yeah, because Arcadia also means games or something like that. I forgot. There's like some Greek meaning to Arcadia, and it's also a utopian mythological place. So they're kind of putting the two together. So that's why it's a human. So it's like, because Arcadia means like video games in Greek or something along those lines. Pretty sure you're gonna wiki it or something like that. I'm probably not, but like, I think that's why it looks like human, and he looks like a kid because, you know, kids likes video games. And in terms of my predictions, my prediction is going to be Anderson. It's going to be Anderson, and it's going to be the evolve form, and it's coming next week. So why not make a dungeon for Toguro 100%? And Toguro 100% is D&T Slayer, Paladin Slayer, and then Gauge of No Warp Bounce Monster, which is kind of like Avalon. Like Toguro 100% is, or Toguro 80% as well, is really good for Avalon. I wouldn't suspect they make it like a pinching dungeon, just like Avalon, but you know, the boss most likely will be a paladin because he looks human and then he looks like heroic-ish, like kind of like the SST monsters or MDT monsters. And then people already been making comparisons to him and Skyrim already. But Anderson evolve form is a Paladin Slayer M, and then also a No Warp. So maybe he'll be the OP of that dungeon, and he's relatively a new dungeon. Like, you know, like you can always predict what Mixie try to do in terms of the new dungeons, because that's the only way they can make people like roll for hatchers, is to create a dungeon that is really hard, but not so hard that the new monsters cannot beat. And with that, I'm pretty sure they're gonna make Anderson relatively good for that dungeon. He's also a water monster. I highly doubt, well actually, like Lapis Lazuli is also a No Warp monster. So like two water monsters in the two recent hatcher events, and ooh, almost died. No, didn't really die, but two recent hatcher series, like event hatchers, and they're both No Warp monsters. They're both bounces, and one has a Beast Slayer. Lazuri has a Beast Slayer, and then Anderson has a Paladin Slayer. So I'm pretty sure boss will be Paladin. They didn't say anything about that yet. Yay! I got my ×5 clear in 3 minutes. I actually got a skip, I think. That's why it went so fast. So that's why I think that's my prediction for the dungeon. I'm looking forward to the stats and abilities. It's coming next week on Friday, so, and you're gonna see the new M4. If people don't know Hikakin, oh, level 4. I'm gonna roll that later. And you're probably gonna see that video before this video. But level 4. And Hikakin dropped out from M4, and they're looking for a new member and wondering who that new member is. There's not many people that are left that's really good. I guess like Kazuyoshi would be one of them, but I don't think Kazuyoshi will accept the offer if it was presented to him, in my opinion. If it did, then that's basically like crazy WTF team. Of course, Shiroa won't be there. Who else is with Moya Games? Probably not, in my opinion. Not saying that he's bad, but I'm just saying like connection-wise, not that really good connections with Mixie, in my opinion. I don't know the reason why. I'm just speculating. Definitely not Max Murai. And the App Bank people, there's probably nobody in the App Bank side that is relatively good enough to be M4 material. And B4 already has like 3 really good players in Kosai, Shinkaso, and Kiko-chan. So they're out of the question. Wonder who? Wonder who? And then after the third big news of today, of Friday, was Hattori Hanzo, new Transcension, and people are already making Overwatch comparisons to him and to Monster Strike Hanzo and Overwatch Hanzo. And I don't know who's copying who, but you know, well, I guess if it was copying, if people are copying, then Monster Strike will be copying Overwatch. But like, you know, and like in terms of improvements, like it's not that crazy. Like it's not that crazy, but I'm really liking it. Like it's not OP, it's not like Roy's OP, it's not like Roma OP type of monster, but he became better. Like, you know, he gets overshadowed by the likes of Izanami with the same abilities and all that stuff, and he kind of made up for it. And Izanami is not that great. Well, she is great now, but you know, there are better monsters in general out there. And Hattori Hanzo can find a place in that top tier of fire monsters, in my opinion. So in terms of abilities, no gravity barrier, no warps, and then strike shot reducer. So strike shot reducers on the base with the no gravity barrier, and then base will be no warp. And bump combo is homing piercer 8, and the sub bump, which is still the main bump, is going to be a slice and dice destruction, which is basically a powerful version of slice and dice. So you're just gonna see bigger numbers, but it's still a slice and dice, which is relatively good if you're close. But the big thing is the strike shot. It is 12 turns and then 28 turns for the second gear, and it's the same. It is the same, but what makes it great? So 12 turns is, you can probably, you know, like why make the reason why Yang Jiang is really good for Yamato Take 0 is because during his strike shot he becomes immune to anything and everything. So in this case, in Yang Jiang's case, is the spikes from Yamato Take 0 dungeon, and for Hanzo, he becomes immune to like basically all the damage stuff, because the 2 big nulls that he doesn't null is mines, which does damage if he steps on it, and then damage walls. So basically for the 12th turn he becomes immune for that shot of like basically all the gimmicks out there. He goes over barriers, he goes over warps, he doesn't take damage from mines, and he doesn't take damage from damage wall. Of course, if he steps on a mine, then people around him will take damage, so you gotta be careful of that. But you know, that's small price to pay for that. And then the 28th version, so the second gear, and that the 12th turn version only lasts for I think 1 turn, 1 boss attack after the original shot. So basically 2 attacks worth of boss attacks, I think. Kind of like the same as the original, like the Yang Jiang version. And also Barochika also has a 12 turn thing as well. And then 28 turns, it's a lot better because of the time extension. Of course, he gets a better multiplier in terms of, and that's that, in terms of the strike shot. But let's see, double drop, guess not. But the turn is 1 full round, so this includes the original shot. He becomes immune for the original shot of the strike shot. Then all of your allies' turns for 1 round, and all the other enemy attacks and all that stuff, and plus the shot that his own shot the round after. So it's basically 5 turns basically. So in general, he basically gets 2 shots worth of all no strike shot. Of course, the second one being not powered up. But even so, like 2 turns worth of all no strike shot is really strong. And he does have strike shot reducer because like 28 turns is relatively high for most people. But if you can hit everybody for every single turn, for every single of Hanzo's turn, then you can start up to the last gear in 4 rounds, because 1 full round is 7 turns, which includes 1 of each monster and then 3 per the allies. So that's 7 turns per round, the max you can get in terms of strike shot cooldown reduction. And of course you can get hourglass and stuff like that, but you know what I mean. So overall, like, Hanzo is not that bad, and he's not crazy OP. Will he be in the top 10? I don't really remember who's in the lower tier of the top 10s, but I think he has a chance there. I'm pretty sure he'll be on that bottom, like the 8, 9, 10 spot of fire monsters. Of course, he's not going to be in the top 10 of like all the monsters in the game, because he's not that crazy powerful. But still very strong in my mind. And this is probably going to be my last run, because it's like 30 minutes already. Almost 30 minutes. But that's pretty much on the JP side. NA side, Avalon is coming. It's finally coming on the 25th. Wait, 25th? Oh my god, it's the same day as... what's his name? Arcadia. But Arcadia comes first, and then Avalon's going to come during that night. So that's going to be a busy day on Friday. And then Avalon, in my mind, I'm really comfortable with Avalon, so I'm not that scared of it. Of course, I did get experience by playing in JP version. So I've done a lot of Avalon videos with even like farmables with like NA monsters only. So you guys can check those out. Just search Avalon, basically. And I think I have like 3 or 4 videos of that. And also a giant stream of me just dying like constantly during the first time it came out. Oh, that was bad in my opinion. But you know, First Empress wasn't there during that time, and First Empress was relatively big during that, relatively important in that dungeon, just because of the Demon Slayer. Which kind of brings me back to like the Toguro 100% thing. So, you know, people that I've been talking to really hates that dungeon, because, you know, it's really hard, right? And I'm pretty sure, like, of course it's hard. It's like Colossal-esque, even though it is an Insidious. I guess that's kind of Mixie's fault, but you know, like, you only have to clear it once. It's not like a farm, like you have to farm it kind of thing. So they have to make it so that you would play more than once, because you die there more than once. Because if you just clear it in one shot, like one time, then, you know, what's the point of making a dungeon, right? And like, people complain, like people that played NA goes to JP because NA is too easy. Now JP is getting hard. It's originally harder than NA, because not because of the dungeons themselves, it's because of the information you have. The thing that why NA is not that successful is because we get a lot of information from the JP side, and people sometimes blame me for it, because of course I'm probably the only person that gives translated information of the JP version. I know people like it, but you know, I'm also the cause, which is why I don't really want to complain about it, but like want to talk about it. But you know, this is how it is. But if you really want an easier version, like if you want to finish, like do everything and anything, then NA is for you. But if you really want to challenge then you want to play the JP version. Like when I played Toguro 100%, like I wasn't like pissed off. It was like, oh, I made a mistake, that's why I lost, right? Like, you made a mistake in that dungeon and you lost. It's not like the dungeon basically auto kills you just because it can, right? That's what I mean. Like, that's why the dungeon's hard, because if you make a mistake, aka not clearing the demons or bad positioning, or if you don't stop with strike shots, then it's on you, because that's not the dungeon's fault, because they don't release a dungeon that is not unbeatable. Like, they don't make a dungeon that says once you're in, like, first stage you insta die, like that kind of thing, or like or they make it so that it is, oh nice double drop, or they make it once you enter the stage they gravity you to 4 HP and it's a no heart dungeon. Like, that is BS. That is total BS. But like, it's not like the dungeon's fault that you made a mistake and you can't clear it because you made a mistake. Because that's what I felt when I was playing Toguro 100%, because I know I didn't clear out the yellow demon in time, so that's why I died, that's why I failed and all that stuff. And I wasn't really pissed off, it's just like, I suck. I'm pissed off at myself, but I wasn't pissed off at the game. But like, everybody I talked to who played 100% was pissed off at the game. So that's why, you know, if you don't want to get pissed off the game, then you play the NA version. But if you want a real challenge, that's why JP is better. That's why people think JP is better. Just because it is a better challenge for players when they think NA is too easy. But you know, when JP gives you a challenge, like a real challenge, then you gotta man up and take that challenge. And if you don't, and if you can't beat that challenge, then you gotta evaluate whether it is worth doing the challenge, or if you think the game is being unfair, or you evaluate yourself as, like, you know, a monster striker. If that's the level that you want to be at, if you want to really be a good player, then you got to take all those challenges, beat it, complete it. But not everybody can complete all the challenges. I'm pretty sure not everybody's gonna beat Toguro 100%, just like not everybody can beat Light Saga during the Saint Seiya collaboration. But you know, that's pretty much gonna be it for me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.